Hello, everyone. My name's Joe,
I'm Roxanne.
and welcome to the Spiritual AF.
No, we're not doing that anymore.
No, we are.
No, we're not.
And welcome to the Spiritual as Fuck.
Or what? And you say spiritual as fuck or whatever. It's getting too
Okay,
kitschy.
cool.
I mean, you know what? Let's leave it. Let's just keep
No,
going.
no.
No, we're going to keep that one. Everyone's going to know we're not doing it anymore.
Okay, peace.
Decisions are made this way.
Yes, live.
What are we
Okay.
talking about today, Joe?
So today we're going to talk about chakras. But before we get into that, we just want to say thank you to everybody that's subscribed to the podcast and the YouTube channel. And please.
And on iTunes.
And iTunes. Well, the podcast is on iTunes. That's podcast. Yeah.
Well, the podcast is on YouTube as well. So we don't
Right.
want to just thank the YouTube subscribers.
Okay.
All the subscribers.
All the subscribers.
And the people who rated and reviewed. That helps a lot.
Yes.
So I've
Keep
heard.
it going. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. And let's get into it. So, I had a couple questions. When I was doing notes, I was telling you, I was almost getting in like a debate, like bullshit.
Did you put bullshit in there?
No, I didn't even do any notes on that.
'cause I didn't
was
see
my own
that.
notes. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't want you to see my retaliation. But what are chakras? What are chakras?
Yeah. I think we decided to talk about this partly because I've had weird experiences with them.
With chakras themselves? Or?
Yeah. Or that I didn't like the idea of it, it got growing up where I grew up, there was so much talk about it. And I just thought I'm way too cool to believe in chakras.
Absolutely.
And then I feel like even if it's just a model to think about how we work, and there's not actually these energy centers. So whatever. So anyways, we decided to talk about it. I am not a chakra expert in the least.
Really?
And so
So we're going to have a discussion.
we'll have a discussion.
Okay, cool.
About
We'll always have a
what they
discussion,
are
yeah, okay.
ish. And then probably someday we'll have somebody who like super duper knows about chakras and is down with it, and maybe like a tantra expert
Do you
or
have
something.
anybody?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Because I'm interested.
You are?
Well, just because I don't want to be, I'll poo-poo on anything that I'm like, that's some hippie bullshit, whatever. And I have been with chakras.
Yeah.
But I want to be open. Especially I trust you, and you said have you had your chakras in line? Is that what it's called?
Aligned.
Aligned? Is that
Yeah.
Have you done that?
Yes, but not in a way that you like. I haven't ever had yes, I have. I've had the stones put on each focal point. Okay, to start it off, let's start before.
Okay, because I want to get interested. I'll fucking do it. I'll do it.
We should both go do that.
Okay, cool.
But I think that if we do anything with the podcast, it's to give people information as tools, as well as to go, you could get into chakras and not turn into a person that is into chakras or be somebody who's suddenly reading people's auras or something like that. That's the thing I want to make space for in all of this, is that I now believe and work with chakras, and I don't go around talking to everybody about their chakras, or I don't have, hopefully not at the end of every sentence is like a question. Because that's what happens, I think, when...
Question?
Like, when people get spiritual and then all of a sudden, like, everything is like a question. Like, I had breakfast. Like, I totally meditated. Like, that thing. Yeah. And I think that there is this correlation that if you go... if I even open up to meditation or metaphysics or anything, that suddenly you're going to become that. And yes... I agree that on some things I fit the stereotype of somebody who's into spirituality, and you could totally pick me apart. But I also think I had the fear of all of those things, of being like, I am just not going to open myself up to this stuff because I don't want to take on the personality the dominant culture around alternative or non-Western or non-Christian spirituality means that you take on a certain personality. And I didn't want to. And then I have gotten to a place where I'm way more able to try things on. And I believe a lot more than I used to. But I don't have to go in and like wear a feather in my hair or wear a giant, I don't know. There's
what aura, or not aura, but what chakra do you see sticking out on me right now?
I don't read other people's chakras because yeah. But
is energy? It's a whole nother topic.
But okay. So if you look up chakras on Wikipedia, there's a whole bunch of information about the history and about what different cultures believe about them. But if the basics are that there are energy centers or focal points in the body, or the subtle body is what it is called, or the energetic body, and that we are all made up of all these different energy centers, and that it starts from like your butthole and goes
chakra. I've been waiting to say that. You know I have, right? Was that good timing?
The
oh shit. Okay.
Yes. So it's not called a kaka chakra. So it starts so that there's
Is the color brown?
No.
Okay.
But you are moving into that there's a corresponding color.
Yes.
And a corresponding crystal or element to each center.
And I found that was like, there is even element chakras. Yeah.
Yes. And so it starts at your base or your root chakra, right. And goes all the way up to there on the 7 chakra model, that there's a chakra right above your head, and that then in between are each of these energy centers or focal points. Okay. And then there's all these other models where, I mean, you looked it up, that there's
a musicians or music chakra, like 10 or something. Yeah, there's all kinds of different chakras.
Yeah. And so basically, so then if we just go through them really quickly, I've got a little picture up here and I can just go through it. So there's the root chakra, which is what Joe calls the kaka chakra, which is at the base. Brown, it's the base of your spine. So I think so the base of your spine, and it is involved with survival, security, grounding, and your family and community. And then there's your sacral chakra, which is in between like your belly button and your junk. And it's about sexuality, creativity, and emotional stability. And then you have your solar plexus chakra, which is like kind of right where your solar plexus are, and then that is about power, purpose, and wisdom. And then your heart chakra, which is about love, healing, and compassion. And then there's the throat chakra, which is about communication, self-expression, authenticity. And then there's your third eye, which is, where your third eye is, duh. And that's about awareness, intuition, and imagination. And then you have your crown chakra, the one chilling right above your head. And it's about spirituality, and enlightenment and interconnection. So then lots of different cultures have models about these energy centers.
Yeah.
So, and you can look it up about where they think it comes from, or what each culture is about, or there's some people that are like, there's 10 chakras. I listened to a podcast where a woman just wrote a book where she's like identifying other chakras. So
yeah,
what's going on with your face, John?
Because I was just kind of, because I didn't want to just come in here and be like, that's a bunch of bullshit, what the fuck ever, So I did. I went in and like there has been, the translations got really skewed in Western, the Western view of the chakras. So I think I read some. I didn't write it down, but they're actually focal points for deities, to communicate with deities or something. In Hinduism, I believe, is where it came from. Yeah. But I don't want to get into all that about it. But the one thing for me is like, okay, like you said, kind of that stereotypical, like, oh, my chakras are all out of line. I'm like, where the fuck are they? Is there one over here or some shit, like on the side of your neck? I don't get it. And then do you have to go somewhere to get your chakras aligned or whatever? Or it's like, it just seems like another thing that want to bypass, for anything that you might be feeling. And two, that you got to go somewhere outside of yourself to fucking fix something.
Yeah.
So I'm really skeptical of any of that kind of shit. And that's why, like, we're probably talking the same language, really, but just different words. But for me, it's just the emotional experience. It's where we hold all our emotions. Like all those places that you named are where we're holding emotions. So in my practice of meditation, that's where it's been transformative for me, is being able to be with all those emotions, like just a heaviness in the belly, a fluttering in the chest, and knowing what thought maybe is connected to it, and then that I can be with it and I can watch it. I don't have to run from it anymore. I don't need to fix it, so my whole thing, and even the root chakra, like I check in a lot of times, like, and my ass is just clenched. I'm like, what the hell? So it's like, I'll just relax, and just bringing that kind of awareness. So it's just, mindfulness is just awareness. So where are we holding all these stories in the body? So that's kind of what I see it as, is more of a language for our emotions. And so what I kind of get kind of thrown off about is that it's so, like, you have to go do something to fix it, and there's nothing to fix. It's something to be seen and held, with some wisdom, some compassion, and watch the impermanence of these emotions that I used to run from my whole fucking life. And it almost seems to that consumer shit where it's like, oh, you're not feeling good, go do this, get your fucking chakras aligned or whatever. Where no, we need to sit, feel, and heal, if we can be with that, so that's where, but I'm opening, I had a conversation with a friend the other day about it. He did Reiki. Is Reiki, like, what, is that how you align chakras, kind of? Is that one part of it?
I don't know. I don't know enough about Reiki, but I don't think Reiki's specific to chakras. But we should have somebody who's into Reiki come here, because I've had weird shit happen with Reiki too, where I didn't believe in it. But so, anyways, we're not.
Yeah, but he said that the person that was facilitating the Reiki thing or whatever was feeling something in his neck chakra. Is that what it is? Throat chakra. And he suggested that it was, I don't know, it was red or something, and it needed to mellow out and just watch your words, your communication. And he's like, yeah, and he was going through some difficult times, and he's been blurting things out, like, just like, and it's been creating a lot of wreckage. So he's like, it makes a lot of sense. So yeah, of course. It's like, watch your words, watch your speech,
Yeah.
But I don't need to have my chakra aligned to know that. I know that I feel doubt. I know what emotions in my belly. I feel the anxiousness in my heart a lot of times, or the love or the joy is in my heart too. And I know that the anger always comes here, and it always wants to belt out. So I know when it's just like, okay, I can soften and work with it in that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think it's just language. Language helps us, and it can hinder us.
Yeah.
And so when I started being more open to this kind of stuff, I just went, this is just a way to talk about something.
Yeah.
And there's a history of people who have been curious, and are trying to communicate something.
Yeah.
And then when I opened myself up to it, of course I was in a bit of turmoil, and I was having some issues. But I was resistant to believing in this at all, because it had been used as a commercial selling point for people who I thought were charlatans, who were taking people's money to go do something. And I'm not saying that anybody who says that they can assist somebody in aligning their chakras is a charlatan. I'm not saying that. Right. But it you know, especially in the US, like, we're so commercial that everything is going to get commercialized. And that doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means, like, it's been commercialized. For me, it was a way for me to have an inventory of myself and an inventory of how I was doing. And then, so when I started, I would go I'd go on YouTube and find a chakra meditation, which I think we can just post. I can go on to find a chakra meditation that I like.
Chakra meditation?
Yes. And it's just a consciousness meditation or concentration meditation where you focus in on the part of your body and then the color, and then you consciously pay attention to it. Right. and pay attention to, is it, do I feel stuck? Is it moving? Is it bright? Is it dull? Is it, and then to give it consciousness about, like, can I be open? Can I be fluid? Right. And giving space for that, and then moving to the next one. And when I really need to get grounded or calm, or I'm really off, I can go to a chakra meditation, and it gives me a bit of peace, or it gives me, it helps illuminate something that I can actually apply to my life. So there have been times where I've been doing a meditation, and then I'm going into my heart, and I can just feel like it's like really hard to open up. And then from that, just curiosity. Right. And attention towards love and openness and all the things I truly want to be underneath every defense I have. I'll have something come up where I'll go, yeah, I haven't been telling the truth. That, you know, and it usually will be around my throat chakra. There's also been times in my life where I was having physical ailments, and then had somebody who I trusted say, it seems like you're having a block in this area. And it would be like, oh, like, you know, I wasn't, like, my heart chakra, I kept having lung issues, and I was resisting grieving. And grief and lungs are really connected in Chinese medicine. And then also with, like, not being aligned in your heart chakra can deal with that, or, you know, can affect that. And so even if we just look at the science of just being mindful.
I'm already, I feel like, so,
I just shut your ass down.
No, I like it. No, it's seriously, because it's so in line with what I'm with. I'm really careful with the word belief, with my trust, because I have an inner trust with the practice that I do, because it's an experience. It's not just something I know, it's something I've lived. And what I'm relating to is, it gave you a language about emotions, about how to even, like, a color, just like an understanding. So it gave you some understanding. Yeah. And then some wisdom. The understanding is just knowing, like, whatever's here in my chest, and maybe there's a color, because it is, you can picture a color, you know, not that it is that, but maybe, you know, that's the mind working. So the mind is not just in the thought story of shit. It's like, okay, there's some sensation going on in the chest. So there's understanding, and then there's the wisdom. I think, okay, there's understanding, and then just holding it, just being with it, like you were saying, was the compassion part. So you're meeting it with some compassion, some understanding, some compassion, and then the wisdom came. Then the wisdom of, that there's thoughts attached to this, and it's the grieving's not there. So then there's the discernment. It's okay to grieve, you know, because I feel like if we can do that, then there's healing in that. Because then there's understanding, and then there's discernment that blossoms, because we're pausing. We're being with, we're not running from, we're not fixing. There's nothing to be fixed. It's just be seen, held, And yeah, so I think it's the same thing. It's just giving some language. So I think like you were saying, that whole consumerism where we're at, and it's like the whole you're feeling this way, fix it. This is how you can fix it. It almost turned into that for me. Mm-hmm. And it was, it's very new agey. So I was really skeptical to that, but it seems like it's just giving it another it's the same meaning, just a different approach.
Yeah. And there are people who help people with this process.
Yeah.
And that with all my resistance to charlatans and people going after each other, or, people going after people who are seeking health and wellness, there are times where things are bigger than I can just figure out with consciousness.
Yeah.
There are times where I need somebody, or have needed, and there's been people there who were gentle, sweet, kind people who had paid attention enough and maybe have some sort of gift and are able to assist in something that I have the intention to do myself. And so I can say that with my experience with that, like my most trusted healer is a really good friend named David. And he doesn't actually use a lot of this verbiage, but he does stuff like that. He does this where he does energy healing, and part of it, he'll sometimes kind of help, well, it seems like it's around this chakra. But he's not married to that model, but there have been times where he has known things when I've gone to him, and then he has assisted me in doing stuff where I feel very different afterwards and I act different. And that there's blockages. And so then the other thing what happened for me about chakras was that somebody brought to my attention about these things called energy cords or chakra cords. Did you look up that stuff?
I haven't yet.
Okay.
No, but we've been talking about it.
Yeah.
And I trust that kind of stuff too.
Well,
I call it empathy, but
no, well, it's empathy gone wrong.
Yeah, exactly. There's that empathetic for sure.
Yeah, or there's the beauty of like when you connect with somebody and you're exchanging energy and it feels so good. There's a reason why we want to do that, because it feels good.
Yeah.
It's when you are having a draining or like parasitic connection with somebody. And I had part of my journey about healing from all the shit I went through was that, this was just a few years ago that I was having to resign myself to just go, maybe I just hate myself. And maybe I just have these waves of just this like severe self-loathing that are just going to be there because I was so messed with as a kid.
And you're just about ready to give up kind of
just
thing.
kind of like, all right, because I'd done everything.
Surrender to that.
Surrender to it, to just go, okay.
Damn.
And then something happened to where somebody brought up this idea of these energy cords. And then I went to David, and he knows a little about my family, but he just was like, something's going on with your mom. And there's a cord there. And then when he said it, I could feel exactly where it was. And I knew that self-hatred had to do with this connection with my mother. And it was not a cognitive behavioral therapy thing. I had unpacked. I'd been in therapy. I'd done it.
There was a knowing.
It was a knowing, and it was a physical knowing.
Wow.
And then
physical knowing.
I could feel it.
Yeah.
And then I started doing these meditations about healing the part of me that allowed that connection.
Right.
And then detaching it and I would put this cord into the base of a tree, and I would say, bless you, mother, bless you, your need, I give you back. And then I would cover in my conscious, I would envision myself getting covered in this like really beautiful salve that was healing me. And it radically changed my experience in a way that was very, very different from therapy. And then, I mean, I can't say that I'm completely free of all of that, but it's a very different life.
Right.
It was like actually detaching something.
Yeah, you're free from it.
Yeah, but
Not
I could
free
feel
of
an
it,
attack happening.
But free from the fucking giving up kind of shit, the shackles that held you to it.
Or free from just feeling this self-loathing and feeling this there was this energy about I am wrong and I should
broken.
somebody, or it's not even broken. It was
wrong.
I fully believe that. I mean, I'm worried because I say this on a podcast and my mother is still alive and could be listening, and it scares me a bit, but I'm just going to say, like, she is upset with me that I cut her off 20 some odd years ago. And I could feel it, and I could feel her judgment, and I could feel her, I could feel this just vitriol at me. And when I not yank it out, cut it, fuck you, it was like, I will heal the part of me that is still connected to this. And even if it is just me identifying that I am still, thinking about, but I wasn't consciously thinking about my mom. Somebody else brought it up and I went, oh, whoa.
Yeah.
And my experience in life radically changed. And then now I can feel like when I start feeling drained, I start feeling all, I can notice it. And then I will go through and be like, what is focal point is this connected to? Where on my body? And then when I can heal it and bless it, I actually feel like there's way better access for me to have like autonomy in my body, autonomy in my energy, and freedom to like connect with people and then detach.
Sounds like you, yeah. And it sounds like you get, then what I love is that you get into the what am I feeling? Where am I feeling it? Rather than the why.
Yeah.
What am I feeling? And then, it's not such a story that defines us anymore. It's just like you can start working with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you're retraining your mind. You're having a different relationship to the thoughts. The mind can be a great ally to, like, I love that you went to the tree and did a ceremony, and that's retraining. I feel like it's retraining our mind to not combat, but meet that other story. It's not truly what's happening right now. This is what's happening. That I want freedom, I want peace, and I'm worthy of that freedom and peace. And that's what I feel is like, so that we all have the power to do that. And I do think too that it is special and it is important to, we used to have shamans, and people and elders that I don't know if they had powers or anything, but they can see and they can hold. So I think that is very powerful. It's got misused maybe in our culture a lot. So there is, like, especially for me, that's why I'm like, but there's something about that. And we don't like, especially our ancestors and stuff, we don't utilize that like we used to. It used to be the elders were and we'd go to the elders or the shamans or whatever, and there's something so powerful about somebody seeing and holding you in that way. I did, and it's kind of in the same lines, and I was like, not about it at all, but cranial sacral.
Mm-hmm.
Is it cranial sacral? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. And a friend of mine, he just looked, I saw him and he was just like super, just like chill, and just like, we were both dropping our kids off, and I'm like, I'm dropping my kid off. We go to the same school, and I'm like, what's up with you? And he's like, oh, my wife does cranial sacral and she just did a session. I'm like, damn. All right, what's up with that shit? Because you look hella at peace. And I tried it, and I was like, this person just putting a hand on my feet kind of thing, whatever. And then got to my shoulders and just sit there, and I just fucking started bawling. And it was just all this fear and it was really powerful. So I went again. But it was,
and then you just went a whole bunch trying to get it the same way all the time because you want it.
But there was some freeing. There was a story, and she got me to be able to get to that story because she just held me. She didn't do anything. I mean, she did do something. She held, and she just like, and there's something powerful about somebody that is trusting and has, you know, is open. Maybe I don't know what it is. I don't think she was magic or anything. She can hold it and heal it, and kind of holding space, you know, in that way. So
yeah, I mean, I'll get even more honest. Before I believed in this at all, and I was working with youth as a counselor, and I was so invested, and so like I was really, you know, when you're just so clear, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, where I'm supposed to be doing it. And when I was in sessions with people, I would just kind of like, I would get into a space, and then I would start seeing colors on them. Just colors.
Yeah.
And then I would just go like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then I didn't really know. I mean, I'd grown up with my bias against chakra stuff, but then I would just trust it, and I would go like, I wouldn't say it aloud to them because I would never admit to that, except for what I'm doing right now.
You're a witch.
Yeah. But I would just say like, hi, can we talk about, and then whatever. And I would just get curious about like, why am I seeing yellow right at their throat? And then,
so you'd see it in different spots of there.
Yeah. And it doesn't really connect to the model here, but I would just go, well, what's that color mean? Why does it mean to me? And I would just be in this experience. And I feel like I just was tapped into the part of me that was conscious and heightened and really present to just be there with somebody else, invested in their health and not willing to do it for them, because I had rock solid boundaries about like, I don't work harder for your health than you do. But this thing would happen, and I felt weird about it at times, because then I would say something that was like psychic, and then people would go like, how the fuck do you know that? And I would just be like, I don't know, I just kind of have a hunch, let's talk about it. And now when I do the work of like chakras and colors and shit, I'm like, oh, wow, there was stuff happening for me there. And there is a long history of people working with energy.
Yeah,
humans,
absolutely.
Beings of all sorts, every element, it's all energy. So why wouldn't we be conscious of that? We can feel stuff. We can sense things. We can. So I do believe that. And I do, and I've had experiences with healers that have been inexplicable. I mean, I go to acupuncture, and that's working with energy meridians in the body.
Absolutely.
And it is scientifically in the Western science proven.
But then I would say that's just, it helps the blood flow, the acupuncture, because there's different points.
No, it's not touching blood. It's not touching veins or anything.
That's true.
It's not.
Really? It's not supposed to? Because that shit, no.
You're going to the wrong acupuncturist,
It's
dude.
not nail. They're not using nails.
Railroad spikes. And your blood is like shooting all the things. It's just the blood flow, man. It's like you're getting medieval bloodletting instead of acupuncture, but Joe doesn't
Why are you looking
know.
so anemic? I'm like, I don't know. I just got acupuncture.
I just got my leeches taken off.
Oh my god! But it comes back to the belief and trust kind of thing, and like for me, it needs to be an experience for me, you know. So maybe I should just freaking see if I can go experience. But I feel like it's the same. We're talking about the same thing, you know. For me, it's like my meditation practice, mindfulness practice, has really gave me a language. But if you can't go there, if it takes a while, but whatever's working for you to get that language of the emotions, the language of the heart, the language of, we are very emotional beings. And when we feel like those uncomfortable knots in the belly or the swirling in the chest, that's, again, back to the consumerism. That's why fucking alcoholism and all that kind of stuff is so high, or just meds. It's like, take this, take that. So when we can fucking sit with that shit and heal that shit, watch it pass, it's impermanent, it's not who we truly are, and clinging and craving or trying to push it away.
Or only paying attention to one one center, one part of our lives.
Exactly.
So consistently just trying, I just want love. I just want love. I just want love. And being
right, exactly.
oh,
It's just, like, I just need to feel that suffering as soon as we want that suffering. So, and I think it goes back way to, we're talking a little bit about like our primal instinct where we just want to be safe. And where were we the most vulnerable when in battle or like in getting chased by a saber-toothed tiger? It was all this front, it's like our belly, our chest. This is vital stuff. So of course we feel it all there. So when we're feeling that, there's something in our minds to say we're unsafe, so it's like, I can't feel that. I don't want to feel, we don't want to feel unsafe.
Yeah. Know? I'm not sure chakras are just in the front though.
Well, there is the kaka chakra. You're right.
No, it's like your whole being.
But when I think of the 7 chakras, really is like it's all up here.
Yeah, I think it's just because they show pictures of people's fronts. Because it's like a, your
so
energy
there
body
is energy. Well, so now we're getting more into the energy. It's not just the chakra when you. So that's again. Where I see it, it's just like, they show the pictures of the 7 chakras, and it's all in our most vulnerable.
Okay, I can get that.
So so thank you for, and I did a little bit of reading on it, that it is, the whole body, and we can feel all these sensations in the body.
We can, and we can change them. So,
Absolutely.
If we, I know
change
that
our relationship to them or change them.
So I will say that I have struggled with depression and anxiety in my life. And part of that was somatic, something of the body. I would curl forward. I was a fighter, and then I took up swing dancing, and swing dancing was open your chest, put your head back and smile. That's the basic of the dance. Yeah. And years of that shifted my entire being about how I felt and how energy moved through my body. Yeah. And so I totally believe that I manipulated my physical, energetic experience from changing my body. Yeah. From just putting myself in the position of happiness or openness.
Or moving.
But it was different than I'd have been, I worked out a lot.
Yeah.
And it was a different workout.
Yeah, no, it is an opening. Like there's even meditations, like a meditation that does something to our whole psyche, some chemical in the brain is just bringing your shoulders up, tightening, going back, opening up your chest, because we're so like this. If we can open up our chest and breathe all the air out, you're doing something in the chemicals in your brain and the amygdala. I'm not a scientist, but all kinds of stuff like amygdala, frontal cortex. But we are, and
your hippocampus and your frontal cortex.
What about your walrus clap? Yeah. But I feel like it goes back to our whole primal instinct, our animal, where it's like most of us. Everybody, all humans, when we're traumatized, we just fucking on to the next, clench up, on to the next. Where the animal instinct in us, like even a deer, a dog, when it's like it thinks like it's in harm or there's an intruder, it just barks and barks, rah rah, and as soon as it feels like it's safe, it fucking shakes. A deer, after a deer in the headlight, if it survives, it scampers off into a place, looks around, makes sure it's safe, and then just sits there and shakes.
There's shaking therapy now.
And
I know people who are doing it.
That's what you're doing with dance, opening up your chest and dancing.
And then shaking my kaka chakra.
Shake your kaka chakra.
That's what, it's the meditation of twerking. It's that you really are just manipulating your root chakra.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. And as far as even our species, it's like, what did we do after war, or like we had a battle or there was a conflict or something? What did our people do? Is get by a fire, like commune, and fucking dance. After a trauma, some kind of trauma happened, and we don't. We just fucking take something, or just fucking tighten up, pull up your bootstraps, man the fuck up, or whatever is the story that's been told to us, and we don't shake our kaka chakra like we need to. You know what I'm saying, though? Does it make sense?
Yes.
I think
that noise. Don't do that noise.
Oh, okay, sorry.
We could talk about. I have
noises.
I can't stand scratching of jeans. If you want me to give up government secrets, scratch jeans, because I will. I'd fucking just make it stop.
How about my beard?
No, that doesn't.
Okay.
All right. So chakras.
Chakras.
We'll bring somebody in at some point.
I'm open. And that's the other thing too. Is like, nothing needs to be totally absolute. And if it's working for you, beautiful. I think if it's given us a language to deal with some emotion stuff that's going on, awesome. And a language that we can hold and heal and,
Yes. I think that's the best thing that I have done for myself is allow myself to try things on.
Yeah.
And I don't have to become anything. I don't have to do anything. I can just try it to see if it works. And it makes me my thing is, does it make me kinder?
Right.
And this practice has made me kinder.
Cool.
And then there's some real ass shit involved. They're real, Joe.
There's real magic.
There's like super magic.
I don't believe in magic.
Well,
I don't. There needs to be some kind of experience that I really have embodied.
Isn't that, well, then magic is that.
Is it?
Yes.
No, that's another topic.
Yeah, we're actually having my full-blown witch friend come in next time. We're gonna talk about it.
Why am I scared if I don't believe in magic? It's gonna put some.
Because she's gonna poke your eye out with her pointy nail, and her black cat will scratch your.
I love you, witches.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. I think.
I think so.
This is us. We're what the fuck are chakras, dude?
What the fuck are chakras, bruh?
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I want to send a really big thank you out to Jeremy Miller of the Betterment Bros and Flicks and Six. Go check him out. And then if you want to help our podcast, please, please, please consider rating and reviewing on iTunes and on YouTube. Also, subscribe. That totally is awesome when you subscribe.
Absolutely. Puts us up, and the more you subscribe is what we just want to help. So the more people we can reach.
Yeah.
Right?
And then if you want to really support the podcast and be a part of our community over on Patreon, go over there. We are going to be doing a Get Your Head Right for the Holidays series that Joe's going to be doing meditations. I'm going to be doing gratitude lists, and hopefully we're going to be supporting people to deal with their families and all this stress anymore.
Get hella namaste. or get nama the fuck out of there because it's fucking too much.
Know when to get nama the fuck out.
Know when to namaste or get namaste the fuck. See, I blew it.
Oh, Joe. But go over to our Patreon page. The link is in the show notes. And then if you want to share this with some friends, please do so. If you put it on Instagram or Facebook, I will repost you and give you a shout out because I love that.
Those are priceless.
Yeah, they really help. So thank you so much. Do you have anything else you want to say, Joe?
Nope.
Okay.
Appreciate you, Roxanne.
I appreciate you too, Joe. All right. Goodbye.
When you're